arm and I trust, and an arm and I deliver this message. I'm going to discuss the Tulsa, Oklahoma judgment concerning the last survivors of the Tulsa, Oklahoma Black Wall Street race war, in which these Caucasians, these Europeans, destroyed American indigenous property, so-called black people's property, destroyed the property in the township and the settlement of American indigenous bronze people, so-called black. It was destroyed by the European white immigrants who call themselves Americans today out of jealousy, and also because the government secretly wanted this settlement, this township, this successful settlement and township known as Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The government wanted it destroyed because, keep in mind, the people here in this area were doing business, and with people from Europe and other places, they were doing business with outside sources, and they didn't want the face of the American indigenous people, the real American indigenous people, to be seen as the face of America. That was looking very bad for the colonizers, the immigrants who wanted their face, their white face, their Caucasian face to be the face of America. And they wanted to black out the American indigenous people, thus the term eventually black people. They wanted to black us out of American history. This is why they call us black people today. And Tulsa, Oklahoma was a way of doing that. When the white degenerates destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma, and yeah, I call them white degenerates because I was listening to the Black Authority, Jason Black. I think that's who, I was listening to him talk about the injustice that the elders who lived to be centenarians, lived to be 100 years old, that how it was the disgrace that the judge in Tulsa, Oklahoma, basically ruled against them receiving any kind of compensation for being part of that Holocaust, that American Holocaust, in which these people lost their lives, their property, and everything. And they were attacked in part by the U.S. government, who gave permission and planes for these European immigrants, these savages, these animals, to attack these people and their property. Law-abiding American indigenous people who are really indigenous to America, our people, the so-called black Americans who are the real American Indians, they had their property destroyed. And of course, the judge ruled against them in any form of compensation. Yet, here's the kicker with this. The city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, collected over $30 million. They collected over $30 million. Look this up. They collected over $30 million for promoting Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Tulsa, Oklahoma race riot as a tourist attraction. So they make money off of promoting that which they've done to our people. They make money off that, millions of dollars, yet they couldn't give these elders at least a couple of $1 million a piece, $2 million a piece for their suffering and what they went through in that massacre. They make money off of what they did to these people and refuse to give the victims any money for what they did to them. Now, if that's not white degeneracy at its finest, you don't call that supremacy, because that's the problem I had with him. He kept saying the system of white supremacy. This is no system of white supremacy at work, because evil is not supreme. When people do evil, spiteful, demonic things, there's nothing supreme in that. There's nothing supreme in people that do evil, demonic things, degenerate things like that. That's why I refer to it as just what it is, the system of white degeneracy. Do not call it the system of white supremacy, because, again, supreme is not to be evil. You're not supreme if you're being evil, if you're being spiteful, if you're acting demonic. There's nothing supreme about that. That's why I have an issue when people like Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, and I'm talking about the system of white supremacy. It is not a system of supremacy. It is a system of degeneracy, because when you set out to deprive people of things, take things away from people, you basically keep things and hoard things for yourself, and you sit up here and you like to see people deprived, and have their resources taken away from them, leaving them economically depressed. When you derive joy from that and you set the stage for that to happen, there's nothing supreme about you. You're demonic. You're a degenerate. Straight up. Let's just call a spade a spade. And I'm going to just say this. A lot of these people, because that's the problem I had. The guy, Jason Black, act like he's surprised when these things happen. And they act like they're hurt and let down. Like, you never see these Negroes who act like they hurt and let down when the system of white degeneracy, does what it does, which means being unjust. They act like they so surprised and shocked. Really, it's because these Negroes want to be a part of that, and they're disappointed every time this racial flare up happen. That's really what it is. But that's it. Closing out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. Close this video out.
Many are called, but few were chosen. The numbers are rising and showing. Every